Hello Scorpio, Scorpio Rising and Scorpio Moon people. This is your weekly astrological and card horoscope for the week starting October 2nd, 2017. And a quick reminder for all of you Scorpio people out there, remember if you ever want to get a session with me, you do need to go to my website, integrativemysticism.com, or follow the links below. And you can schedule a session or order a downloadable video file. So what is going on with the astrology this week? Well, this week it's all about Venus in your 11th house of your friendships and social networking, Scorpio. And on Tuesday, we've got Venus forming a gorgeous trine to Pluto, currently in your 3rd house of communications, pacts, and promises. And a promise, or perhaps even a pact, may be enacted or fulfilled by a friend as a big favor to you. This could also indicate that this person is, going out of their way to maybe even fulfill a promise or pact that they made for you ages ago, and they have a need to come back and actually do it. And this could actually be a very, very interesting surprise, something you may have totally forgotten. This could also indicate a travel opportunity. Whether it's a short-term trip or a permanent move, you may be noticing that a friend who's always been just a little bit out of reach is going to be making their way into the neighborhood. On Thursday, we've got Venus and Mars in a tight conjunction in your 11th house of friendships and social networking. And just so you know, this can bring up a lot of latent romantic attraction types of energies, and and this could be very, very strong. You may actually notice that tension, or there may be a mutual understanding of that tension with somebody who's being just a friend anyway. And this could also create, however, some difficulties. Those of you who are in perfectly happy, monogamous relationships, you are not immune to this situation. So it's going to be up to us to be discerning about how we handle these things. If we have no interest in switching up, in that way, make sure that your friend doesn't get led on, and that, you can still keep your friend. However, if you're single, and you're not you find this attraction's going on, might be something to think about. More importantly though, Venus and Mars together really bring a lot of passionate, strong emotional highs. And again, sometimes people will lose their heads. Some people get addicted to those emotional highs, which is not good either. But the problem is again, if we lose control or we just lose ourselves in this, it's not the pleasurable fun or just the bonding experience that we want it to be. It could just be a mess. So again, tread lightly, and if you don't trust yourself, then you know what? Have the talk and then maybe explore it later. For your spiritual advice when it comes to your cards, we do have the card of the Blackbird. Okay? And the Blackbird is talking about something kind of coming to you, I guess you could say a sign or a symbol to pay attention to. Again, some kind of new beginning, some kind of breadcrumb trail being presented to you. Usually the Blackbird itself is trying to point you to a very, very specific direction this week. You may be noticing all signs are kind of pointing to one area or one situation or one person, whether you like it or not. The Blackbird is one of those cards that actually does kind of show up as a bit of personal intervention. You could be actually needing to pay attention to a few more of those things. I actually had a situation very similarly to this with the Blackbird. Earlier this week, I was actually entertaining the idea of talking to somebody, I'll put it this way, and then out of nowhere, the state troopers' lights turned on right behind me, and I was like, am I getting pulled over? And then I pulled off to the side of the road, and they went right by me. And I was like, yeah, we're not going to call that person. Pay attention. Don't let just allow those signs to come, because again, the breadcrumb trail leading you to good or away from bad will be more pronounced this week. For your Earth sector, when it comes to your work and finances, we do have the Two of Swords reversed. And this can actually be very, very nice for a lot of you, especially if you have been waiting on some kind of commitment or some kind of go-ahead. Even if it were a yes or a no, sometimes we have our alternative, we have our backup, we don't care if a person says yes or no, we just need to have an answer so we can move forward, goddammit. This is the Two of Swords reversed for you. If somebody's been waffling about whether or not they're going to contribute, hire you, or give you authorization just so you can actually move forward or again move on. The Two of Swords reversed is saying that we finally have the conclusion this week. And this looks like it's making a decision, it's helping you make a decision for yourself. You know, it's kind of like we don't want to rule out an option until we know what's going on. It's like if we are house hunting, you know, we've got two places that look good, well, we exercise them both, but if one is just taking forever and the other one's taking forever, sometimes the process of elimination has to do its work for us, and luckily it will. Financially, this can be a really nice card, though, because I am seeing you dropping an arrangement with or for somebody that you have been trying to escape for some time, whether this is a financial arrangement or work arrangement, I'm not sure. For your communications with air, when it comes to your friends, your relatives, and the others in your life, we do have the Eight of Cups, upright. And again, more talk about travel, whether it's an invitation for you to travel, or somebody traveling, again, near you. I don't know if they're necessarily coming to travel and be with, you know, and be back in this area forever, but this may be a new, regular thing for them. This could be a friend, again, who has lived at a bit of a distance. And the Eight of Cups could also be bringing good news to you about a friend or relative leaving behind a situation that you know has been absolutely dreadful for him or her. Whether it's walking away from a relationship that you know has been nothing but trouble, a job that you know that they've been suffering in, or maybe even just living in a house or a neighborhood or a home situation that you know has proven to be, again, wearing them down. We have this person, you know, the person you do care about, starting to care more about themselves and moving on from that as well. And it looks like they're moving on closer to you, which can also be always a nice thing. For your challenge this week with fire, we do have the Wheel of Fortune reversed. This card can indicate a need to pay attention to where we don't want to just, you know, take our chances with every little thing. Okay, we've got breadcrumb trails leading us to where we need to go. We've got the process of elimination working for us, but the Wheel of Fortune reversed is also saying that when things happen for a reason, they show us where they're going, they're leading us down that road, we don't want to just sit there, okay? We don't, because the road will go away. You know, it's like Alice in Wonderland where, you know, the red trail is actually being swept up behind her. You know, that kind of thing can happen when it comes to these kinds of little interventions with the blackbird. And the Wheel of Fortune reversed is kind of saying, okay, well, waiting for too much, you know, for waiting for more breadcrumb trails in addition to the one that you have is going to prove to be disastrous. So, well, not disastrous, but, you know, inconvenience at least. So the Wheel of Fortune reversed this week. Be careful about not actually just kind of taking the initiative when it's presented to you. Don't sit and surrender and see what else happens, because what else may happen is the breadcrumb trail could just go away. For your emotions with water and your romantic life, we do have the Chariot card reversed. And for those of you who are currently dating around, maybe you're talking to more than one person, the Chariot card reversed is saying we're getting close, really, really close to that time where you got to make up your mind. Okay? Because with the Chariot card reversed, it does look like somebody that you have been seeing in that capacity is deciding to throw down. Okay? And they are laying their cards on the table this week. You will have time to decide, but you are going to have to decide in their case much quicker than I think you thought you would have. The Chariot card reverse can indicate a continuing issue that comes from this, where we just can't seem to be in two places at the same time. And you may be noticing with the Chariot card reversed as well that you are kind of being pulled away from your initial plan or your initial crush in this situation if you're seeing multiple people. If you're single and you're not seeing anybody, the Chariot card reverse says you do need to pay attention to where to people's life directions this week. They may be meeting somebody we're very, very attracted to, but if their life direction, as you know, in terms of their future goals and what they want, is not the same as yours, you need to believe them. This is not going to be the kind of week where it's like, well, maybe they'll change their mind in 4 or 5 years. They're pretty sad. For those of you who are currently coupled, the Chariot card reverse carries a lot of similar energy there. There are just some things that our partner may have to live with us not compromising on and us them. We knew this when we got together. If we're still banking on them changing their minds because we stayed, that might not be the right thing to do. There may be something that we have to agree with doing on our own. We can still have our relationship, absolutely. But when it comes to, you know, banking on a person changing their mind about a certain course of action or what they want to do next or whatever, we're going to have to, you know, agree that there are some adventures that, you know, some journeys that are very, very personal. Again, is this going to pull the relationship apart? It doesn't have to. But this may be a journey that you wanted your partner to do at the same time as you, or they wanted you to do at the same time as them. But again, maybe we, you know, got to believe each other when we say we didn't want to do that. Okay? Once that air is cleared, everything is good to go. Totally gravy. But again, be careful about, you know, about trying to let the attraction, you know, to that person or that situation make you think, well, you know, okay, my dreams and my goals then come second for this, you know, for this whatever, and vice versa, you know, because there's some things you can do on your own while you're still in a relationship. It's okay. And let your partner know that too, so that they don't freak out when, you know, it's okay. So that is your horoscope. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And of course, if you ever want to get a session with me, you can always follow the links below, or go to integrativemysticism.com.